What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Fraud on the Telly. Today we have another episode of the Shield Hero Breakdown, as in this video we break down everything that happened in Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2 Episode 3, in which Naofumi and the Allied Kingdoms initiate their battle plan to slay the massive tortoise. As always, if you enjoyed the video or learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out last week's Shield Hero Breakdown or our full Season 1 recap. Okay, let's crack on. Last time on Rising of the Shield Hero, Naofumi and his party came up with a plan in which they could slay the massive spirit tortoise. Step 1, lead it into the mountains, use siege weapons to make it immobile, and then chop its head off. Our episode begins as the spirit tortoise has suddenly arrived and the allied armies prepare to mobilize. And wow, holy CGI turtle. Usually I'm not nitpicky on these sorts of things, but not gonna lie, the turtle looked hella weird in some of these scenes. Naofumi and his party, accompanied by one of Melty's shadows and the spirit tortoise's familiar Ost, set off to the battlefield, Naofumi flying his own Shield Hero banner from his cart. The battalions march on, Naofumi and his flag raising their morale. As well, it will serve as a warning signal for the rest of the army to stay away from him later in the fight. Hordes of the turtle's familiars begin to rain down upon them, Naofumi activating his hate reaction, forcing most of these creatures to follow him and away from the battalion, whose job it is to lure the tortoise into the siege weapons. Side note, I'm pretty sure I was right in our last episode breakdown where I said that these mountains here could have possibly been the back of the spirit tortoise as kind of a throwaway joke, but when looking back at it, those mountains sure do look familiar to the back of this tortoise. The massive tortoise lumbers on, following the Dragon Rider battalion into the cliffside valley. Naofumi stops the carriage. Having successfully led all of the familiars away from the battalions, he declares to Rashia's horror that they will be fighting the hordes together. Ost steps forward, uttering a strange incantation, releasing a powerful gravity spell, grounding the monsters in place, while Naofumi and his party act quickly, cutting down the immobile familiars, raphtalia using her new yin-yang blade sword technique. Meanwhile, the siege weapons fire the ballistas, striking the tortoise but doing little damage and failing to stop its forward movements. It strikes back, destroying a chunk of the mountainside and killing many of the warriors. However, the siege weapons teams continue their assault, bombarding it with more rocks and ballistas. They concentrate their attacks on its right leg, wounding it, but taking heavy casualties in the process. In a bold move, the spirit tortoise land's commander stays behind, activating the bombs they hid throughout this valley, stopping the tortoise's advances by sacrificing himself in the process. The remaining units begin charging the tortoise that is now immobile, when suddenly Ost remembers that the tortoise is still extremely dangerous, as it has the ability to launch magical missiles from its shell, kind of like artillery. It begins this long-range assault, bombing the battalions charging it, killing many of them. Ost realizes that whoever is controlling it is behind this, as the tortoise is taking more souls than it would normally need to. Just then, she is cut off as Naofumi manages to block one of these spikes with his meteor shield. Naofumi realizes that there is a gap close to the tortoise's feet where the spikes aren't striking. If they can get close enough to it, they will be able to kill it without being harmed. Eclair follows Naofumi's lead, ordering her battalion to charge straight at the tortoise. We see countless soldiers are being killed in the process. I feel like I'm watching some stream straight out of Attack on Titan or something right now. The group realizes that if they kill the tortoise, Ost will also vanish, which explains why she asked Naofumi to kill her in episode 1. As the party are charging in, they're stopped by a strange parasite tortoise familiar. Ost uses her powers to restrain it, while Naofumi and the rest of the party charge onwards. Naofumi has given the order to enter stage 2 of the plan, harnessing the power of multi-caster ritual magic to unleash the spell Judgment onto the tortoise. If this spell looks familiar, that's because it was also the spell that the Pope used on Naofumi in Season 1. The beam of light comes crashing down, burning a cut into the tortoise's neck. It's crazy to think that this is the same spell that left the massive crater in Season 1, as it just leaves a cut on the tortoise's neck. Naofumi, Philo, and Raphtalia all unleash attacks on the wound, Ost buffing Naofumi's airstrike shield, making it big and beefy, while Rashia buffs Raphtalia, and Philo. Together, they all manage to sever the giant tortoise's neck from its body. Everyone cheers as it seems they finally won. It's bittersweet for Naofumi and the gang, who realize by slaying the tortoise they also lost their new friend Ost, causing Rashia to start crying, when suddenly she's offered a tissue by none other than Ost, who is still alive. Surprise, surprise, I guess the spirit tortoise wasn't defeated after all. The episode ends as we see the familiar blue hourglass perpetually ticking down. What an actual roller coaster of an episode. So they destroyed the tortoise, but they didn't actually destroy it. Not gonna lie, I'm a little confused. However, this episode was a nice change of pace for Shield Hero. It really felt like the tensions and stakes were really raised in this episode. And I think this might have been the most amount of characters we've seen die on screen in one time. And apparently they died for no reason, as somehow the tortoise still lives. Very curious to see where the story is going from here. I've seen some videos and people online saying they think Season 2 of Shield Hero is bad already. So far, I'd say it's a bit different. It feels like it's premature to say the entire season is bad when we've only seen 3 episodes right now. I'm curious to know what you guys think in the comments below, but with any form of media, people are going to have different tastes and opinions, and you know, that's okay. I may make a response video going over some people's critiques of Season 2 of Shield Hero. If this is something that you're interested in, let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you enjoyed the video or learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Click a video on screen now, and as always, I will see you all in the next one. Stay safe out there. Peace, love. Adieu.